there are really interesting things people have started noticing in the screenshots Rockstar released. And one article I came across went through everything they've shown so far and identified roughly 19 different firearms across the screenshots, artwork, and promotional material. Obviously, that doesn't tell us exactly how many weapons will be in the final game because we don't have any gameplay or anything concrete, but it does give us a pretty good look at the direction Rockstar appears to be taking. Here's some of the things the article said. One of the things that immediately stood out to me is that a lot of these weapons appear to have actual names rather than simply being called pistol, heavy pistol, or carbine rifle like we saw in GTA 5. If that ends up being the case in the final game, it's a small detail, but it's one I actually like. It gives the weapons more identity and makes them feel like distinct pieces of equipment instead of just categories on a weapon wheel. But the thing that has really caught my attention, he says, is the possibility that Rockstar could be moving away from the classic GTA system where you carry enough weapons to outfit an entire army. In GTA 5, you could walk around with assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, rocket launchers, machine guns, explosives, and everything in between all at the same time. Yet, in a lot of the screenshots Rockstar's released, we're consistently seeing weapons physically attached to characters, slung over shoulders, hanging on straps, and carried as actual equipment, which makes a lot of sense. And that doesn't confirm anything by itself, but it does raise an interesting question. Is Rockstar moving toward a more realistic carry system where weapon choice actually matters? And while looking through these screenshots, I noticed something else that immediately caught my attention as well. In one image, there's what appears to be a magnum, like how I show on the thumbnail, fitted with a large scope, almost like a sniper optic. Now, weapon customization isn't exactly new to GTA, but this setup feels much more specialized than what we're used to seeing. It immediately made me wonder if Rockstar is expanding weapon customization much further than before. Now, before I get too carried away, it's worth remembering that GTA 5, if you didn't know, already had a weapon customization, but it was fairly limited. Players could visit a place called Ammunition. It was a gun store in GTA 5 and purchase things like suppressors, scopes, flashlights. What exactly the weapon system is going to look like in GTA 6 as opposed to how it was before. While we've seen a lot of the world, a lot of characters and vehicles, we still haven't got a proper breakdown of how combat is actually going to work. And you know, I have my own gripes with how Rockstar has handled combat in the past, in PvP specifically. For me, one of the biggest issues has always been the auto aim system. Going all the way back to GTA Online and even Red Dead Online, the game would often snap directly onto your target, turning the gunfights into a contest of who locked on first rather than who actually aimed better. That said, one thing Rockstar eventually got right was separating players based on their preferred aiming style. If you enjoyed assisted aim and want a more casual experience, that's perfectly fine. You can play in these lobbies. But if you want a larger skill gap in gunfights like me that reward precision, you can jump into a free aim and compete against other players doing the same thing. Personally, that's always been my preference. It puts more responsibility on the player instead of the game. And if GTA continues to build on that philosophy while also introducing this deeper weapon customization and attachment system, it could create some of the most satisfying PvP combat Rockstar has ever made. This combination of meaningful weapon customization and a greater emphasis even on player skill would be something truly special to see. Every weapon had a predefined set of upgrades with very little room for personalization. For example, like the Magnum that you see on the thumbnail with that sniper scope was not possible in GTA 5, because what GTA 5 didn't have was a true gunsmith system where players could swap individual components like barrels, stocks, optics, muzzle devices, and other attachments to create unique builds. That's why this attachment is so interesting. If GTA 6 is introducing a deeper customization system, it could mean weapons are becoming far more customizable and RPG-like than ever before, allowing players to tailor them to their own playstyles rather than simply purchasing a fixed upgrade from a menu. This opens up a whole array of ideas in my head, because now we're potentially moving into more of an RPG style philosophy where players can develop different playstyles based on how they build and use their weapons. One player may prefer long-range engagements with a traditional sniper. Another may want to use a scoped Magnum from medium range. Someone else may build around close quarters combat with SMGs and shotguns. And depending on the attachments, the playstyles could be completely diverse. Whatever the situation or the case, I've seen so many different playstyles emerge from games that embrace player freedom and customization. That's one of the things that I've always loved about RPGs in general, role-playing. Give players enough freedom and they'll come up with playstyles that developers never even anticipated. The creativity becomes part of the experience, and I know this can get out of hand. The problem with this type of games is that in PvP specifically, things can get too overpowered, and then the developers get into this cycle of nerfing weapons, then buffing them, then nerfing them, and then something becomes meta, then something else becomes obsolete. The power creep starts to show up. There are so many potential issues involved with this type of philosophy in gaming, but with GTA 6, they're definitely not going to sacrifice the core identity of what GTA is. Definitely not. But if they can sprinkle a little of an RPG flavor onto it, that would be a beautiful fusion, I think. And if they're moving further into that direction, even in a small way, they could add an entirely new layer to combat that we've never really had before in a Rockstar game. That's actually more realistic than carrying your entire arsenal on your person while running around, everything else being realistic except that. But if this is true, it could be huge, because suddenly preparation matters more, the weapon selection matters, which setup you're going to bring out depending on what you're doing, if it's a bank heist or if you want to just rob somebody, whatever. The gear you bring into a situation matters. And if Rockstar combines that with more skill-based gunplay, oh boy, this could end up having some of the best combat the series has ever seen. Problem is, we still don't really know. And of course, the rumor mill is going. Everybody's talking about everything under the sun after these screenshots were released. And right now we're piecing together clues from all of this and trying to figure out what Rockstar is planning before they actually show us a real gameplay breakdown. But based on what we've seen so far, I think there's enough here to start getting excited. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much about this. I wanted to give my viewpoint and thoughts on how I think the PvP should be as far as the gunplay. I don't want to sit here and speculate too much, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video if you found this engaging in any way, and subscribe to my channel for more GTA content in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.